Prior to Monday's opening bell, Wall Street is headed lower due to widespread demonstrations in China demanding the resignation of Xi Jinping and the end of one-party rule. The S&P 500 futures declined 0.7%, while the Dow Jones Industrials futures sank 0.5%. Due in part to turbulence in China, crude prices have dropped for 3 weeks in a row and are close to reaching a year low. After rising above $120 in June, crude prices are now projected to be negative for 2022, and a barrel of benchmark U.S. crude can currently be purchased for less than $74 per barrel. According to Stephen Innes of SPI Asset Management, for investors, when it comes to China, trying to predict the reopening certainty with any degree without certainty, basis, or track record to go by is looking like a dangerous game in the context of the unsettling protests and the colossal challenge China's leaders now have on their hands. An increase in COVID-19 instances could cause more problems with supply chains and inflation, as well as greater disruptions in production and transportation. The number of Apple's iPhone 14 models that will be available this quarter may be reduced by 5% to 10% due to problems in China, according to Dan Ives of Wedbush Securities, with inventory shortages in some Apple outlets reaching 40%. Ives stated in a note to clients that Apple's options for the holiday season are very restricted and they are at the mercy of China's zero-COVID policy, which is still a very painful scenario for both Apple and the street. At noon in Europe, the DAX in Germany and the CAC 40 in Paris both fell 0.9%, while the FTSE 100 in Britain fell 0.4%. Hong Kong's Hang Seng dropped 1.6% to 17,297.94 during Asian trade on Monday, and the Shanghai Composite Index dropped 0.8% to 3,078.55. ZTE, a manufacturer of telecom equipment, saw a 4.2% decline in its stock after American regulators forbade the sale of its goods there. Due to an unacceptable risk to national security, the Federal Communications Commission announced Friday that it was prohibiting the sale of communications equipment made by ZTE and Huawei Technologies and limiting the use of some China-made video surveillance systems. The SET in Bangkok fell by 0.2%, while the Sensex in Mumbai rose by 0.3%. This week will see the release of several highly anticipated economic statistics. On Friday, the Conference Board Business Group will present its assessment on consumer confidence, and the United States will present its employment statistics for November. Concerns about the Federal Reserve's capacity to raise interest rates to combat the hottest inflation in decades without going too far and sparking a recession are at an all-time high. The benchmark interest rate set by the central bank is now between 3.75% and 4%, up from nearly zero in March. It has warned that in order to control rising prices for everything from food to clothing, rates may ultimately need to be raised to previously unanticipated levels. On the New York Mercantile Exchange, U.S. benchmark crude oil fell $2.40 to settle at $73.88 per barrel, down for the third week in a row. Oil for international trade is priced using Brent crude, which dropped $2.60 to $81.11 per barrel. From 139.28 Japanese yen, the dollar decreased to 138.32 yen. The euro increased from $1.0379 to $1.0474.